Blasco. This is,
And I am Joe Blasco.
and we're from Jacksonville, Florida. And we've lived there 22 years, but our home feels like Orange County, where we first met Kathy. And the best memory is that my youngest boy was born on her birthday. And I have to give this to Joe.
Kathy and I and Don, we all worked together for a long period of time, and some of the things I remember about Kathy is her constant desire to always want to learn. And for an accountant as myself, it's tough finding somebody who wants to help me figure out what I'm doing so they can do what they're doing even better, and she was great at it. She was absolutely great. One of the other things that I remember most of her, in addition to her learning, is her smile. She would light up the room when she would come in. What a delightful lady, always, always happy, and always very desirable to be around. Love that woman. We're going to sadly miss her.
Everywhere we went, she was the mother. She took care of everybody. Always wanted to know if you were okay.
Absolutely. She would even cook meals for us when we would come from Florida to their home en route to the old classic car auctions up in Scottsdale, Arizona. And she took care of us several years on that occasion. And boy, her cooking was second to none.
I'm Ralph, and I am Kathy's brother-in-law. And this is Gloria, my wife, and we loved Kathy to death, and just really glad to be here to celebrate her life.
My fondest memory of Kathy is she always invited the whole world for her Thanksgivings and made everybody feel comfortable in her home. She's a wonderful lady.
Amen.
I am Bob. I am Kathy's cousin. I never got to tell her this, but I always respected her and looked up to her. I always thought she was successful in anything she did, and we all miss her. She helped me. My wife was sick with cancer, and she helped me. I remember calling her and trying to support her when she was sick. We're all going to miss her.
Kathy and Clarence Dibble here, and I actually worked for Don. I was Don's secretary at the hospital, and so helped plan and work with him on a lot of the galas and the activities that go with the foundation, and really met Kathy as Don's wife. So even though I worked at the hospital, we weren't, and Clarence worked at the hospital too, that's where we met. We weren't overly familiar with, the runnings of the renal center, but we do remember Don and through his history with her and all the fun things they did as a newly married couple while we met with them. So she was always great, smiling, happy, and made Don happy, which made my life happy. So all very good. So we'll miss her, and it was good seeing Don. It's been a long time since we've seen him. So thank you.
And Kathy definitely did have that smile that would light up a place. Seeing her coming down the hallway in the hospital was always a good greeting. Thanks, Don.
We're David and Colette Smith, and I've known Marty now since 7th grade. So we used to hang out at the Hicks house, the residence there in Woodbridge on South Lake, and play poker on Saturday nights with our coin jars and our Slurpees from 7-Eleven. So thank you for all the great years of great memories in high school. Thanks, Hicks.
Hi, my name is Irasama Alvarado. I was Kathy's caregiver, and a good memory I have of her is when Dawn wasn't looking, I used to give her extra Cheez-Its.
Hi, Dawn. It's Jamie. I just want to thank you for inviting me and Dave to this wonderful memorial for Kathy. I'm going to miss her so much. But most of all, I'm going to miss all the help that she gave me while my mom was going through breast cancer herself. So I will always remember that. And anyways, I love you. And I hope we can talk again real soon.
Kathy, One of my favorite memories of you is kind of scary. If you'll remember in Italy, we were in a restaurant and you clumsily dropped some stuff down your shirt. And remember the waiter that came and helped you clean it off? I didn't think we were going to get you out of that restaurant. Anyway, love you and glad we had fun.
Pam Stoney here. The first time we met was at Puerto Vallarta. We went down, you went down with a girlfriend, we went down with a friend we knew, and as we got there, we noted that a great deal of people were there, and we found out later that when you went swimming in the swimming pool, it was no bathing suit. And Kathy and I bonded. We sat in a room and said, oh, who would go swimming with no bathing suit on?
Well, I have a couple's story. Don and Kathy were in the big island of Hawaii, and Don called me on the phone to see if we wanted to accompany them and go on the flume. The flume is like a raft ride that goes through the old irrigation ditches in Hawaii. And Don, assuming this would be great for Kathy since he was assured that they would not get wet. Well, when we arrived, Don was in his typical attire with the long socks and his white shoes, and Kathy was attired in a nice dress. And then they found out that the first thing they had to do was stand in about 3 feet of water to get Kathy into the flume. So the long story short is, Don was successful in keeping Kathy somewhat dry. She only came off of the flume with a wet dress, but Don was saturated and water was squirting out of his shoes and out of his wallet at the end of the ride. And it was a fond memory we have of Don and Kathy riding the flume in Hawaii.
One of my favorite stories that Kathy told was when she received an orchid from Marty, her son. That orchid lived forever, and she misted it. She had it in the bathroom. She took very good care of it, watering it sparingly. But finally, after years and years, was losing a little color and losing a little blooms. So she took it to the nursery to get it repotted. So I found out today that the little container was rusting after revisiting this with Marty, who thought he sent a real orchid. They took it to the nursery and tried to repot it and found out that in fact it was a silk orchid. So it was a gift that kept on giving but finally gave out. That was a fun story that Kathy told us.
There you are.
No, that's not me.
Hey, that's Bob Newhart.
Never mind that. Look at me with hair.
Holy moly.
Yeah. and
Is
my
that your wife?
My wife.
This is Jan Kendrick, Hoffman Kendrick, and I just have one story about Kathy that I thought was so cute. When I first started working at St. Joe's, I had a Jeep, and Kathy, we went somewhere together one day, and Kathy couldn't get into my Jeep because she had a tight skirt on. So she looked all ways around the parking structure. She just hiked the skirt up, got in. With all her Kathy grace, it was really cute.
The son of Colin and Joan Karansky, who have been friends of ours for a long time, and he's an apt volunteer because this is their son Jordan, who has the current title of first violin in the LA Philharmonic. So the encore song was the Oscar winner for just the melody in 1995, and then they added lyrics to it in 2003, and they changed the name, which was the theme from Il Postino, which is the postman, and now it's Mi Mancherai. So guys, have at it.
mancherà la tua serenità, le tue parole come canzoni al vento, e l'amore che ora porti via. Mi mancherai se te ne vai, ora e por sempre non sé come vivrei, e l'allegria, amica mia, va via con te. Mi mancherai, perché va via, perché l'amore in sente spento, perché non cambierà, né te lo so, e dentro sento che mi mancherai, perché va via, perché l'amore sente spento, perché non cambierà, né te lo so, né dentro sento che mi mancherà l'immensità di notti, giorni, tu ne sei me noi, tuoi sorrisi quando si fa buia, la gianta d'età da bambina tu mi mancherà. Trovo un vuoto dentro me, e l'allegria, amica mia, va via con
Thank you guys.